those, that's where the breakdown is. So I think our guys have done a much better job of being accountable to each other.
Coach, Baylor was your first coaching job in college. How much did you grow as a coach, and what things did you learn about the coaching game?
Yeah, it was, I was young. I've been coaching high school ball for 5 years and had the opportunity to go there. Grant Taft, the legendary coach, was the head coach there at that time. And so I had the opportunity to go as a graduate assistant. And the first year I worked on the defensive side, and the second year he gave me the tight ends as a position. And there were some great coaches on that staff, guys that had coached for many, many years, and they were really good to me. I mean, I learned a lot. You know, I would have to say, probably I cut my teeth on high school football in the state. And so I learned a lot about coaching at the high school level. And then when I got to Baylor, it was just taking it to another level. It was realizing that they're just bigger, faster, and stronger kids, but they're the same kids that we had at the high school level. And really, I guess for me, being organized and in everything you do and having a plan, was definitely something that Grant was big on, and probably still to this day is. I think this is his last year as the executive director of the American Football Coaches Association, so he's retiring at the convention this year. So he's been a mentor of mine all the way through, and not just him, but his wife Donnell, and the things that my wife was able to learn watching a head coach's wife. And so we learned a lot about just football in general and being a good man.
How did you come about getting that job? I mean, were they just aware of you because of your high school success, or?
No, actually the coach that hired me out of college, his name was Scott Smith. Scott Smith played at Baylor University, and he was there with Mike Singletary and all those guys back then in the 80s. And so Scott hired me at Garland High, and Scott was there just for a few years there at Garland High, and then he left to go to SMU, and then he ended up at Baylor as an assistant. And then he talked to me and wanted to know if I wanted to have an opportunity to go be a graduate assistant at that time. And so at that time I was married and had no children, and decided to make that jump. And found out a few weeks later we were having a child. But somehow we made it work.
Larry, have any of your juniors filed paperwork in the NFL to find out about their?
Yeah, we have we filed paperwork on 4 or 5 guys. I don't know who all they are right now, but they're all interested in seeing what the process is, and we encourage it for a guy that is thinking about it. We want them to make sure we give them all the information that they can possibly get. One of the things that we talk about in recruiting is that that would be a dream to for me to be sitting on that couch in my office with you 3 years from now, and you have to make a decision, because that means you played pretty good. And so, yeah, we do have some guys that are thinking about that. We'll have to wait and see as we go through the process.
Did you get concerned at all over this past week when Gene's name kept coming up with this East Carolina situation?
I'm really kind of at peace with Gene Chizik. Okay, and what I mean by that is there's no doubt in my mind, if Gene Chizik decides he wants to be a head coach again, he's going to be a head coach again. No doubt. So that's not going to be like something that I'm going to worry about, because if the right situation arises for him and that's what he wants, then I'm going to be happy for him and his family. I really am. It's just like I am every guy on my staff that has aspirations of being a head coach. I want that to happen for him. I want my players to reach their dreams and goals. I want my staff to reach their dreams and goals. And if those things are happening, then we're probably doing some pretty good things, and things are good around here. So I really wasn't worried about it. I really wasn't. And first of all, I don't spend a lot of time thinking about all the rumors that are out there, because I can put something on the internet if I knew how, and start a rumor, and you guys would go crazy. So, but anybody can put anything out there. So I just don't, if that issue would come up and Gene says, hey, I want to look at this, then we would address it. But, I'm really at peace with all that.
But he never came up to you and said,
no,
I want to look at this?
No.
Very good.
Coach, one last question on
very, on a lighter note, he's not a very big part of their offense, but they've got a guy named Laquan McGowan, obviously, you know.
I'd say he's a big part of it. The
But,
guy's 410 pounds.
absolutely. Just kind of talk a little bit about, you know, if you kind of expect to see anything with, you know, them trying to scheme a little bit with, you know, you got the time to build it in, and
I think
if
I
you've
saw-
got any O-linemen that are kind of chomping at the bit to be on the scout team for that.
I think I saw in the Texas game, they handed him the ball, didn't they? On the outside. I mean, the guy is, I mean, for 400, you guys, 410 pounds now is big. And he moves around really well. He's caught touchdown passes. I mean, you know, it's not like they're just running little dump things to him in the flat. He's going vertical down the seams. I mean, so it's, he's pretty amazing talent, you know, and Art is, you know, thinks outside the box enough to be able to utilize the guy, you know, and so my hat's off to him.
All right, thank y'all. Like I said, pleasure